I have a name for those who would sacrifice the lives of children in the name of convenience and hedonism. Moloch worshippers. Moloch was a Canaanite supposed god in biblical accounts, frequently associated with the practice of child sacrifice. Other names in the Old Testament for this demon was Baal, who was presented as a foreign deity who was at times illegitimately given a place in Israel's worship as a result of the unholy, anti-God policies of certain apostate kings. You shall not give any of your children to devote them by fire to Moloch, and so profane the name of your God. Leviticus 18:21. The kings of Israel most associated with Moloch worship were Ahaz, 2 Kings 16:3, and Manasseh, 2 Kings 21:6, who were influenced by the Assyrians, and have been reported to have worshipped Moloch at the hill site of Topheth, outside the walls of Jerusalem. This demonic site flourished under Manasseh's son, King Amon, but was destroyed during the reign of Josiah the Reformer. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the sons of Hinnom, that no one might burn his son or his daughter as an offering to Moloch. 2 Kings chapters 23, verse 10. Today there are many such figures we can associate with Moloch worship in the United States. We can conclusively add New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to that list. Do I have proof that Andrew Cuomo worships demons or practices the occult? No, I don't. In fact, he is supposedly a sacrament-receiving Catholic. That's the maddening thing about all of this. I bring up Moloch and Governor Cuomo of New York today because on January 23rd, the New York State Legislature made legally aborting an unborn child at any point in a pregnancy. A woman could literally be in labor and decide she wants an abortion. It's sick, it's demonic, and, to add insult to injury, Cuomo decided to celebrate the occasion by having the World Trade Center spire lit up in pink. This act is no different than pinching incense to Caesar. Feminism is a satanic ideology, and this self-described Catholic spit in the eye of church teaching in order to defend the most reprehensible practice in the world today. LifeSite News has more on this story. New York celebrates legalizing abortion until birth by lighting One World Trade Center pink. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo directed that the One World Trade Center spire be lit pink overnight on Tuesday to celebrate his signing of a law allowing abortions until birth and letting non-doctors commit abortions. The law, the Reproductive Health Act, these people, also erases the state's recognition of preborn babies older than 24 weeks as potential homicide victims. Cuomo called the bill a historic victory for New Yorkers, and our progressive values. It was passed on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court decision that brought abortion on demand to every state. In 1970, New York was the first state to legalize abortion. Cuomo said that he was directing that the 408-foot spire on the One World Trade Center, as well as the Governor Mario M. Cuomo Bridge, the Kosciuszko Bridge, and the Alfred E. Smith Building in Albany, be lit in pink to celebrate this achievement and shine a bright light forward for the rest of the nation to follow to hell. I added that last part, but you get the point. Statements from abortion supporters suggest they fear how the current Supreme Court might rule on abortion. I can look forward to the day that this Supreme Court strikes abortion down, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. In the face of a federal government intent on rolling back Roe v. Wade and women's reproductive rights, I promised that we would enact this critical legislation within the first 30 days of the new session, and we got it done, said the Moloch worshiper. Pro-life advocates lamented Cuomo's celebration. Lila Rose of Live Action wrote on Facebook, New York leadership cheers today for the legalization of killing a baby old enough to be born, poisoning a 6-month-old to death in the womb, and delivering her in pieces. This is the legacy of Roe v. Wade. It's time to end this barbarism. The Radiance Foundation declared, already the nation's abortion capital, New York's pro-abortion Dems just passed the most radical abortion bill in the nation earlier today, allowing abortion through the entire pregnancy to save the life or the health of the mother. Governor Cuomo, the Radiance Foundation said, celebrated the unrestricted violence of abortion that treats the unborn with more antipathy than criminals. God help us. Obianuju Ekiocha noted on Twitter that the New York State legislature erupted in applause when Democrat-controlled body passed the bill, and I've got that clip for you in a second. The new law also means that women whose unborn babies are killed against their will, in the case of domestic violence, for example, won't be able to charge their aggressors. And when they were done giving constitutional protections to the ritual sacrifice of children, they clapped. The Moloch worshippers clapped. Among their number were some Catholics, and that's a point that I'll get to in a moment. But here, watch them clap. It will fill your heart with rage like it has with me. This is beyond reprehensible. This is unconscionable for any person with a functioning conscience. But that's the thing. Our world is filled with the smoke of Satan. And the smoke of Satan not only obscures our eyes, making finding the truth about the mess in the church nearly impossible, the smoke of Satan also deadens our senses of right and wrong, making people actually believe irrational things like killing babies can be justified. I'm literally at my wit's end with this story. There's a lot of charges being made right now about pro-lifers being racist, given a certain story in the news at the moment. Do you know who gets aborted at higher rates than anyone else? Black babies, Latino babies, and Native American babies. And Cuomo is celebrating that. The New York State legislature is celebrating that. All of those condemning Catholic hospitals for not performing abortions or in vitro fertilization, like the whack jobs over at 538.com, are celebrating that. This should be your reminder not to trust any narrative from the media about anything that touches upon Catholic morals or Catholics in the public eye. But here we are, New York legalizing abortion in the most reprehensible fashion while Americans are arguing about other things. This is the state of things. But Andrew Cuomo isn't the only Moloch worshiper in New York. The bill that made this atrocity legal was sponsored by the following people. Here are their last names: Gottfried, Lupardo, Heasty, Peoples-Stokes, Jaffe, Titus, Simotis, Rosenthal, O'Donnell, Cahill, Salages, Abenati, Arroyo, Barrett, Barron, Bishowet, Blake, Bronstein, Bronson, Buchwald, Carroll, Cook, Simbrowitz, De La Rosa, Dendecker, Dillon, Dinowitz, D'Urso, Engelbright, Fahey, Galef, Gant, Hevesi, Hunter, Hindman, Jean-Pierre, Jones, Kim, Levine, Lifton, Magnarelli, Mosley, Nolan, Otis, Paulin, Perry, Pfeffer Amato, Pichardo, Pretlow, Quart, Rodriguez, Rosick, Seawright, Simon, Steck, Stirp, Thiel, Wallace, Weinstein, Weprim, Williams, Werner, Wright, Neo, Ortiz, Fernandez, Griffin, Cruz, Frontis, Jacobson, McMahon, Rayner, Romeo, Reyes, Epstein, Fall, Taylor, Zabrowski, Richardson, Vano, Dickens. Do some research. Find these people, but do absolutely nothing to them. Find out who the Catholics on this list are and call their bishops. The bishops are required by canon law to excommunicate each and every one of them. Period. I know the bishops are too busy drafting USCCB documents about racism that read like garbage promoted by a college student government, but this is their actual job. They must hold the laity accountable on the non-negotiables, and this is at the top of the list of the non-negotiables. On the blog, returntotradition.org, I have not only the sources for this story, but also the list of names in writing and the names of the bishops of New York, as well as how to contact them. Do so. Remind them that they have a duty before God to excommunicate these baby killers. The blood is on the hands of every legislator in the New York Assembly. God have mercy on them, and God have mercy on us all. If you like videos like this, like and share this video and subscribe and click the notification bell below. If you're interested in supporting my work, there are various options in the description below, along with links to my social media, the Sources blog, and the Return to Tradition Facebook page. Thanks for listening. I'm Anthony Stein. Ave Maria.